is hands down Anaheim.
I think they've got enough young players. I think they had 7 really young guys as regulars and talent.
And imagine living in Newport Beach.
Yeah.
That weather out there is like, the only thing is like you got to make big money. You got to make an extra $1 million compared to here.
Yeah.
Right? Just to cover the taxes.
If I'm Sullivan, by the way, it's Anaheim or Chicago for me. Because I do think that those are 2 young teams that at some point, it may not work out for either, but it's trending in that direction where you walk in to a ton of young talent that you can mold.
Right.
That you can mold.
And I think they're willing to give a guy like Sully a long-term deal, a 5 or 6 year deal.
Right.
Guaranteed. So he's like, he has some time to play. He's getting big money guaranteed. And again, I've never seen an Anaheim player or anyone actually playing in LA, Anaheim, San Jose not smile, because it is like the best living I've ever seen. You leave the rink, you never, like, you know how we go golfing?
Yeah.
You know that feeling just before you go out and it's sunny and you feel good, your flip-flops? They get that going to the rink. It's the best. And that's why I think that's such a good attraction. Then you look at the team, you have a young core. I think they have some money to spend. You know, that's a great place to play. Chicago, not a chance. I don't care if they have Bedard like that. I just feel like there's such a turnover. Even the players are in turmoil. You don't know what's going on. Like, Chicago's great, but I just don't, it's not attractive to me, you know?
Well, it sounds like if you were coaching and you had your choice, you'd be going to Anaheim. Or New York.
I'd be a great candidate for the Pittsburgh Penguins, to be honest. You want to talk about a guy that knows how to push guys' buttons and know, like, I think I'd be great. When you look at the best coaches that ever coached, they weren't first-line coaches. They weren't first-line players. They weren't superstars. What were they?
Grinders.
Grinders. Because you know why? We had to learn a game a different way. We had to see the game from everyone. So that's what I didn't.
You putting your hat in the ring right now?
I should. I think I'd be a great coach.
We may have a headline here.
Yeah, well.
Can you imagine our weekly conversations with Pittsburgh Penguins head coach
in my office?
Tyler Kennedy for Pens coach.
There? I know, I'm telling you, I think I would be a great coach.
All right.
I know how to motivate guys to run through the wall.
Believe me, I hear you. Do you think the Penguins are better off with one of these veterans that moves from job to job?
No.
A college coach, a junior coach, an assistant coach somewhere? I don't know if you have a name in mind or not, but at least sort of what kind of coach would be best here?
Definitely not a recycled NHL coach. There's certain NHL coaches that have been recycled, like, you know, the Lindy Ruffs guy, like those guys. I don't know how they keep getting jobs. You know, I know they've been around, but this NHL, the new systems, everything, even the players, how to talk to the players and all that, it's not like that old school. Some guys need to be like punished and like loved and all that, and other people have to be hard on them.
Yeah.
Like, I think a college coach that's been around younger guys, or an AHL coach that's developed guys to play a certain way to be successful, is what you're looking for. A guy like the guy in Denver, that Carl, or was it
Carl? Yeah.
Carl, I think he'd be great. I think Jay Pandolfo, Jay Leach, those guys, because again, what were they? They weren't all-stars. They were third and fourth line guys that had to figure out a way to stay in the league a long time. And those guys, if you're still doing it and you've been around the whole situation, and when you have guys like that, what I do like, and I think even for myself, you know what Evgeny Malkin, you know what the presence Sidney Crosby and those guys have, and how you need to treat them, because you got to treat them a lot different than you treat the third and fourth line guys.
Yeah. Well, go ahead.
No, I just think they demand respect. They have a presence. Like, you got to come in there very confident. But again, I think a guy that knows how to develop the second piece of the Penguins, that is going to be huge. Not the core guys. They know how to play. They won Stanley Cups. It's that next generation of, all right, you need to do this for us to, for you to get points. Because I think a big problem with the Penguins this year was secondary points, secondary scoring. You know, like, they needed more guys besides Crosby, Raquel, and Russ putting up big points. You need